Hi, I'm Anne-Marie Clulo, and I want to tell you today about intimacy coaching and what it is and what it isn't. So what intimacy coaching is a safe and boundaried way to deal with your intimate life. So does that involve your sex life? Yes, it does. We do mind, body, and spirit. So we look at a threefold approach to your intimate life, to the issues, your sexual issues, your sensual issues, your body issues, things that may be coming up for you. If you've been sexually traumatized, if you've experienced abuse, molestation, or rape, all of those things, we look at those and we come up with skill sets, practical exercises, meditation exercises, breath work, yogic exercises, tantric and Taoist sexual exercises to help you get past that. But we don't do any of that by having sex with you. That's something you do in your own time. We do not hold up scorecards. We do not expect you to have sex in front of us. Please don't have sex in front of us. You can do that in your own time at home. So you don't walk in and expect a panel of judges. It's not about judgment at all. It's about a very different approach to sexuality and sensuality that is incredibly safe and boundaried. So that's what intimacy coaching is. What intimacy coaching isn't is a quick fix, putting a band-aid on something that could be falling apart in your relationship or some issue in your own body that you just can't get past. So we normally design individual programs or courses for the people who come in to see us. Because what works for a 21-year-old woman who's just had her first child and what works for a 55-year-old woman is not necessarily always the same thing. The body is in a different stage of development. Same for men. An 18-year-old man who needs to learn how to touch a woman successfully, how to help a woman become more orgasmic, or how to help his partner, who could be a man or a transgender person, become more orgasmic and to have more pleasure. That's going to be very different from a 55-year-old man who's looking at erectile dysfunction disorder and wants to get off medication, is looking at more holistic methods to overcome those issues. 7 years ago when I started this journey, there were no intimacy coaches. There were some people who taught about sexuality and sensuality, but a lot of it was stuff that I didn't feel safe doing, or it was incredibly interesting. It's been an interesting journey, but there was no me when I needed a me, and that's why I started the company. I wanted a safe and boundaried way to take your relationship to someone and say, this could be better. How do we make this better? How do I make my orgasms real? How do I stop faking orgasm? How do I teach my partner how to touch me in a way that doesn't upset his sexual ego? How do I learn as a man how to touch a woman in a way that really feels good for her and isn't just what I've seen on porn? Because porn, unfortunately, porn and pleasure are not the same thing. Porn is very visual, so it can be very stimulating and it can be a lot of fun to watch. However, you don't learn how to drive a car by watching a car chase movie. So you don't learn how to have incredible orgasmic and pleasure experiences by watching porn. It just doesn't work. It's not real. So we've got methods and techniques that have been devised over thousands of years, not by ourselves, obviously, but there's the learning of the Sutra, there's the learning of Tantric sexuality, of Taoist sexuality. We look at the body as a whole, and then we say, what can we change? What can we teach you? What can we move? And it is possible for a woman to have a 40-minute orgasm, if not longer. It is possible for a man to have an orgasm without ejaculating, without wasting his energy, without spilling his seed. These things are all possible. There are body techniques and they're fairly easy to learn. So that's what we do, is we teach you how to have more pleasure, more intimacy, more love, by teaching you about these things in a very practical way, looking at the mind, the body, and the spirit as a whole, because sexuality is not just your body. You know very well that sexuality also has to involve your mind. And if sexuality involves your heart as well, you know, all of these things involve intimacy and sensuality. So that's what we do, is we look at everything as a whole, and we've designed this entire huge paint palette of skill sets and things you can do within your intimate life to improve things. But you paint your own pictures. We will just give you the skill sets and the tools, but you're going to paint your own pictures. And that's why we're here. We're just here to help you get more colors into your intimate life, more pleasure into your intimate life, and ultimately more love and more connection.